Hello, duelists, and welcome to the King's Court. This is going to be our very first ever Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG Banlist prediction / discussion video. Basically, I'm going to be going over a section of a group of cards that we here in the channel think have a good chance to get banned, put to 1, put to even unlimited, or that very, very, very rarely used 2-up section, which is pretty much only keeping alive for malicious. I miss malicious. Okay, so normally these kind of videos were more discussion based. I do with my partner in crime channel member Michael, but unfortunately he's come down with something. He's not feeling too well, so I'm going to be doing it myself this time. So, but prepare for the future videos to be done by the both of us. AKA, we want to start doing some more like discussion videos of the games that we play here. Like, primarily our main focus here on the channel will be the Yugioh Tcg. We wanted originally to make it also Pokemon Wi-Fi battles, but we're having a hard time with our current setup, so for now we'll do Showdown, and as well as add on the Digimon TCG. So we're going to try to have at least once a month, we're going to have discussion videos for each one of those on the channel. So expect those and be ready for them. And if you want to see them, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Yes, hit that subscribe button. Oh man, I sound so corny. But we're almost at 50 subscribers. We're super thankful for that. Thank you so much. So, before we get to the main part of the video, let me know in the comments what's your ban list prediction. Do you agree with some of the cards we put here, or do you disagree? I'd love to hear it. We respond to every comment we get, so we'd love to hear it. Now, on to the first one. Now, this is going to be our ban section. Basically, right here, these are the main culprits we think have a good chance to get banned, or overall we would like to see banned. Now, some of these are going to be pretty obvious choices. Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds. I don't even think Flunderee's players themselves like this card. It is way too crazy. The problem Barrier Statues have, they are a very, very old archetype, would you call them? Well, they're a very old group of monsters that come back all the way back, Jesus, I think the GX era. I was like in middle school, I think, at that time. So these cards are very, very old, so no one at the time... It's only in hindsight we realize is how detrimental these cards can be. Especially Stormwinds right now, because there's no other wind deck that's as good as Flunderee's right now. So that's honestly one we think right now, at this moment in the game's lifespan, is probably a good idea to get rid of. Because Flunderees can just set up their crazy boards and then end up on this, and we thought getting rid of some more was enough, and it did slow it down, but this card is just too crazy on its own. Now, these two next cards kind of go hand in hand, but basically, Instant Fusion right now is way too crazy. Like, it's being used so hard in Ishizu Tearlaments. Like, you already heard that name a lot in this video. So, it's used ridiculously there to get easy access to their fusions. I remember when this card was at 3, and we thought it was dead when they put it to 1. But no, this card is still nuts. This card is still ridiculously powerful, and it might be time for this card to go. Now, El Shaddoll Winda. Personally, I think El Shaddoll Winda is one of those cards that should have got hit a long time ago. We're at a point right now in the game where special summoning is so nuts and so rampant that El Shaddoll Winda is like a ridiculously powerful floodgate. And a lot of decks, as soon as, like, obviously the big one is Ishizu Tearlaments. They're the ones who make this card crazy right now. Once they get this, it's bad enough they can mill out your deck to the point where it's almost impossible to play. But the fact they can just end up on this card is just ridiculous. It is just nuts. So, I personally, me and channel member Michael and a couple other people we spoke to agree these are probably the best likely cards to get hit. Some other I don't really feel like though there are others like there's really anything else that needs to get full on like get the band hammer right now. Like these I feel like are like the main ones that most people would be happy to see go. Especially El Shaddai. That could just be me. Like I've never liked Windows, so I personally wouldn't mind seeing it go. But Instant Fusion and various Statues of Storm ones, I think these are all like on everyone's wanted list right now. So that's the band section. And like I said, if if anybody watching this disagrees, and go ahead and leave in the comments why you think the cards should stay, and we'd love to read it. Like I said, we respond to every comment we get, so we'd love to hear your opinion. Limited to one. All the Yugioh cards. Now, don't let this image fool you. I meant to also add in the Bestials, so you can put them as well. Not all the Bestials, it's the really crazy ones like Duskworm, I think it's called, and Malop. Something. We all know the Bestials. Everybody who plays the game competitively knows what those cards are. And these cards right here, the Yugioh cards are just... It's an example of when they try to make an old archetype or, old character supports, aka Yugioh from the original anime, but they really did not expect these cards to blow up like they did. Earth Fairy, and especially the Earth archetype, the Earth's attribute in general right now, is crazy. These cards have so much synergy with tier limits that it is beyond fair that these cards exist right now. So I'm pretty sure nobody would disagree about these cards going. Especially since here in the TCG, we'll be getting the cat. I think we already got them actually. As of recording this video, I could be wrong either way. The Kashtira cards are just crazy, and they meld with these cards so well to the point where it is just ridiculous. So something's got to go, and I think these cards got a good chance of going. I don't know though if it will be the next ban list whenever we get it. So personally, I think these cards have a good chance of going, but unfortunately, I don't think they're going to just yet because they are still new for us here in the West. That also goes for the Bestials, but I think the Bestials have a better chance of getting hit because we are going to be getting more Chaos support down the line, which is pretty much so. That's a possibility, but it's very unlikely though that everything is going to get hit to one. They're probably going to hit a few at first, leave a couple at 3, leave a couple at 1, and then probably just as we keep going on this next year, they'll probably start hitting them the more as we go. But that's just a guess. But the 3, Bod Desires, should never have went to 1 to begin with. I don't know why they put it. I mean, the only guess I can think of, like there are only 2 decks that get use out of this card: Salad and the Great Majugar. And great is it Great Majugar? Is it? No. Well, yeah, that deck basically. Gain attack for every banished card. Those are the only decks that get use out of this card, and I guess they were afraid of putting Murad Stalio to 3 because it's at 3 now, and having this card exist at 3, so I guess... I don't know. I mean, the only other guess I got is that because the Great God Maju Garzet... I am butchering this name, I swear. Oh my goodness. To anyone who plays the deck, I am so sorry. But, I guess the only reason they'd want to hit that is because that deck is a pile deck of just good stuff, and Konami usually doesn't like that because good just good stuff. They usually don't like it in this game, so they usually try to get rid of that stuff. So that's my only guess. But Salad's not doing anything right now. It's way too slow to compete with a lot of the decks right now, and Maju Garza gets local play from my experience. So I think this card is more than safe to put back at 3, personally. Now, these are just a couple cards I think could go back to 2, and that's mainly because right now we're at a point where the put the two-part section of the Forbidden Limited list is really only kept alive by Destiny Hero Malicious. And as a hero player, that hurts. But, it's probably, now, ever since we got Destiny Hero Decider, we're probably never going to get him back at 3, so there goes that dream. But I think these are cards that could come back to 2. And me and both Chandler and Michael both agree these are very strong options. Salamander, Gazelle, like I just said, Salad ain't doing anything. And with that new announcement for fire support, everyone is banking on Volcanics to get support, which would be cool. But I think another very likely deck that's going to get support is going to be definitely Salamangreat. Salamangreat is a very popular archetype, and it's still alive, crazy enough. It feels just like yesterday we were in the Eternal format, which was the format ruled completely by Salamangreat, Sky Striker, and Thunder Dragon. So it feels just like yesterday we were still there, but no, it's still at 1, so I feel like they could put it at 2 just to give a little more boost and to get a little more hype for those and future Salad cards that are probably going to be coming out soon. Spellbook of Judgment, spellbooks aren't doing anything. Like, I heard recently about a Runic spellbook deck that did, I think, that topped out of locals or something. I could correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I swear I heard about that deck somewhere. Like, I think a friend of mine mentioned it to me, or I think I might have saw a video of it, recommended it in my YouTube recommendations. I'm not sure, but outside of that, spellbooks don't do anything. Spellbooks are a very old, at this point, very old archetype. They haven't done anything in forever. They haven't gotten support in so long. And Judgment at one point was viewed as the most broken card in the entire game, to the point where they banned it straight up. They didn't even put it at 1 first. They straight up banned this card. But now that it's at 1, spellbooks aren't doing anything. The spellbooks are kind of just too slow. And not only that, we live in a modern time where we got Veilers, Ash Blossoms, Impertinence, even D-Shifters, to the point where it just slows down and hits spellbooks way too hard for them to really make an impact. So I feel like this card can come back to 2, and probably even come back to 3 eventually, because it really doesn't do anything. Called by the Grave, another card that should never gotten hit. There are a lot of people who are turned off from the game because of hand traps. Like, I could speak from experience in meeting a lot of people who want to play the game but just hate Ash Blossom and Veiler and all them with a burning passion. So I feel like if those cards, which still do exist right now, are going to stay in the game, I feel like we need a better way to combat them. I mean, I know they hit this card because they wanted to promote Crossout, but Crossout's not even doing anything either. That card only did good in the OCG because they have Max C still. We don't here, so it doesn't get nearly as much play. Call by the Grave is the kind of card we need right now, especially for, like, right now, with, like I said, tier limits still existing right now. We need as many cards as we can use to banish from their grave, just to give other decks a bit of a fighting chance. And I personally think it shouldn't have never gotten hit to 1, personally. Yeah, that's just me, though. Like I said, leave in the comments what you guys think. And on to the next one. Unbanned. Now, right now, there aren't a lot of cards that I feel like are safe to come off the unbanned list. Like, these are basically right now the only ones I personally think right now have a chance. Now, Blaster, Dragon Roll, the Infernos. Now, I don't know how many people watching this were playing the game, who were playing the game during the Dragon Roll format, but that format was ridiculous, because unless you were playing Dragon Rulers or Spellbooks or even the occasional Evil Swarm deck, because of the high levels that these cards get to, basically you weren't playing at all. I mean, this deck, there's a reason there are a lot of people still really fear this deck. Although we all know that this deck has gotten power crept and really can't do as much as it used to, especially since going rank 7s was their best thing back then, and that doesn't really matter anymore. So I think Blaster, out of all of we already have Tempest back, and Wind decks don't even play that thing. I think the only deck that plays it is Dragoonity. Any Dragoonity players watching this, let me know. I'm pretty sure they're like the only deck that plays Tempest, and I don't think Blaster would get any play, honestly. The only fire decks that really have ever done anything were obviously Salamangrate and Infernoids. Fire has always been that one attribute that doesn't really get like a lot of usage. Well, there was also obviously Fire Brotherhood of the Firefist deck cards, but they would not play this. That was an Xyz based deck. There was also what's the other one? Fire Kings. If anyone remembers that deck, Fire King Garun, I think Garunic it was called. You know, the big chicken thing that blew up the field. That deck was pretty good for its time, but I don't think there's a modern day fire deck that would really play Blaster or make it to the point where it's viewed as unfair. So I think it has a chance. Orcus Harpor is another card that I feel like has gotten power crept. Like I said, when it came to spellbooks, like it says right there, special from your deck at 1. This card is really nothing much. It needs other Orcus to really do anything crazy. Plus, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Right now, the graveyard is not safe because of tier limits and because of D-Shifter. Not only that, we got Macro and Dimensional Fisher all at 3. So right now, the graveyard isn't even a guaranteed thing. So I think Orcus Harpor could come back to 1 minimum. And I don't think it honestly would really make a splash personally. And to end it off, now, these are the cards we just mentioned that we think have a chance or a good chance to get hit. Either banned, put to 1, etc. Now, the last part of this video, we're almost there. If you stayed to the end of this part, thank you so much. We appreciate your viewership. This is going to be a guilty pleasure part. We did the same thing with our Digimon TCG Banlist prediction. We like to put at the end of our prediction videos wish lists, which is basically just a portion of the video where we just name off the cards we wish could come back, but they're not gonna come back. We know realistically they're not gonna, but we just wish they would. And personally, Destiny Hero, Malicious, and Red Reboot. I miss these. I miss Malicious at 3, and I think a lot of us miss Red Reboot. Oh man, I don't know why they even hit it. Maybe they wanted to promote Eldritch or branded Eld. I don't know. It's like right now there are right now tier limits. Like I said, mill your opponent's deck, so it's not like traps are even doing as much as they used to. And we got so much back row hate these days, but I just miss Red Reboot for the whole going turn 2 and your opponent already set up their back row, especially against branded Eldritch. That deck is annoying. Or Altergeist. Oh my god, Altergeist still exists like at a locals level, so that's just a me thing personally. Hate dealing with back row. And as a hero player, I'm guilty of admitting this, but yes, I wish Malicious would come back to 3, but like I said, ever since we got Denier back, it's probably not going to happen. Sad but true. So, like I said, that's our wish list. This is, we know these cards probably aren't going to come back, although if they do, huge party, huge celebration. Oh man. But, that's pretty much the basics. Like, those pretty much everything. This is our first, like I said, prediction video for the Yugioh Tcg. So I guess you could say we wanted to keep it as safe as possible. And we'll see what happens. Like, when the ban list drops, we'll do a reaction to it here on the channel. And if we're right, all right. And if we're wrong about any of them, we'll be eating our words. So, to those of you who saw the entire video, thank you. And thank you almost for 50 subscribers. We've only been doing this for a couple of months. And the fact that we're almost at 50 and our views are actually doing pretty good, we're actually really happy and thankful. So, thanks for honestly stopping by. And this is us signing off. Expect me and channel member Michael to be doing this next time. And thanks for stopping by. Bye.